Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. There is no great genius without some touch of madness. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Happiness depends upon ourselves. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. Anybody can become angry, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. A friend to all is a friend to none. Those that know do, those that understand teach. Hope is a waking dream. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. Good habits formed at youth make all the difference. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. The ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival. Personal beauty is a greater recommendation than any letter of reference. The secret to humor is surprise. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. Change in all things is sweet. Jealousy is both reasonable and belongs to reasonable men, while envy is base and belongs to the base. For the one makes himself get good things by jealousy, while the other does not allow his neighbor to have them through envy. Suffering becomes beautiful when anyone bears great calamities with cheerfulness, not through insensibility, but through greatness of mind. To attain any assured knowledge about the soul is one of the most difficult things in the world. To run away from trouble is a form of cowardice, and while it is true that the suicide braves death, he does it not for some noble object, but to escape some ill. The soul never thinks without a picture. What it lies in our power to do, it lies in our power not to do. He who is unable to live in society, or who has no need because he is sufficient for himself, must be either a beast or a god. Fear is pain arising from the anticipation of evil. It is just that we should be grateful not only to those with whose views we may agree, but also to those who have expressed more superficial views, for these also contributed something by developing before us the powers of thought. Youth is easily deceived because it is quick to hope. All paid jobs absorb and degrade the mind. Mothers are fonder than fathers of their children because they are more certain they are their own. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. My best friend is the man who, in wishing me well, wishes it for my sake. Democracy is when the indigent and not the men of property are the rulers. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. The greatest virtues are those which are most useful to other persons. There was never a genius without a tincture of madness. I have gained this from philosophy, that I do without being commanded what others do only from fear of the law. The one exclusive sign of thorough knowledge is the power of teaching. Education is the best provision for old age. We become just by performing just action, temperate by performing temperate actions, and brave by performing brave action. Man is by nature a political animal. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. The state comes into existence for the sake of life and continues to exist for the sake of good life. Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. In a democracy, the poor will have more power than the rich because there are more of them and the will of the majority is supreme. Without friends, no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods. Friendship is essentially a partnership. In making a speech, one must study 3 points. First, the means of producing persuasion. Second, the language. Third, the proper arrangement of the various parts of the speech. In poverty and other misfortunes of life, true friends are a sure refuge. The young they keep out of mischief. To the old they are a comfort and aid in their weakness, and those in the prime of life they incite to noble deeds. The wise man does not expose himself needlessly to danger, since there are few things for which he cares sufficiently, but he is willing, in great crises, to give even his life, knowing that under certain conditions it is not worthwhile to live. We are not angry with people we fear or respect, as long as we fear or respect them. You cannot be afraid of a person, and also at the same time angry with him. Poetry is finer and more philosophical than history, for poetry expresses the universal and history only the particular. The most perfect political community is one in which the middle class is in control and outnumbers both of the other classes. He who is to be a good ruler must have first been ruled. Even when laws have been written down, they ought not always to remain unaltered. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form, but with regard to their mode of life. Our judgments when we are pleased and friendly are not the same as when we are pained and hostile. Bad men are full of repentance.